some point, everyone has asked themselves the question, am I nuts? Is my behavior just quirky, or am I really crazy? Are my anxieties real, or are they all in my head? How do you know? Well, today I'll reveal whether your quirks, dreams, and anxieties are normal or nuts. I'm going to start with your dreams. Dreams are your body's way of sending you a message about your health. Renowned dream analyst Lori Lowenberg is joining me today. How are you, Lori?
I'm very well, thank you.
I get asked a lot of questions about dreams. Yeah. So help me educate everybody about how dreams can be a clue to your health.
Well, as you know, your body is very much connected to your brain. And so if you start paying attention to and learning to understand your dreams, they'll give you messages about what's going on with your body. For example, they'll give you messages you're pregnant before you ever pee on a stick. Happened to me. They'll let you know if you're sick. They'll give you a heads up when you're ovulating. They'll even let you know if a bout of depression or anxiety is on the way.
So Laura and I are going to walk you through two of your most common dreams to tell you whether you are normal or nuts. Here's one that I know many of you have.
You're standing on the edge of a cliff. Your pulse is racing. You're shaking and unsure. Suddenly, you can't feel anything under your feet. Your arms are flailing as you realize you're free-falling, plunging down to the ground below. Then, without warning, your body jerks and you bolt upright in bed. Is this dream normal, or are you nuts?
So Patty says she's had this falling dream for about 10 years. So what are you normally falling off of?
I'm always standing on a cliff looking at a beautiful landscape, and for no apparent reason, I start falling. I could see myself falling. I could feel myself falling.
Do you ever hit the ground?
Always. I always hit the ground. It's always in the grassy patch, no rocks, and I wake up with a jolt. That's what wakes me. So I wake up, my heart's beating because I've woken up that way.
So audience, is a falling dream normal if you hit the ground? Normal or nuts? What do you guys think? No. You guys, whopping 87% of you, when we polled you, said it was normal. Now let's look at the meter, find out if you guys are all right. It turns out you are, nuts. Now, you're not alone. I mean, part of the reason we're doing this show is because so many folks are having dreams like this. I got to say, I'm fascinated by falling dreams. So help me understand if a falling dream itself was a problem, or is it the hitting the ground that's the problem?
Well, it's the hitting the ground that's nuts. That's what's not normal because, and you're good testimony to that old wives' tale that if you have the falling dream and you hit the ground, you die. Now, if you're hitting the ground, that's a good indication. You might be traumatizing yourself over something you feel bad about, something in your life that's going in the wrong direction. You'll get it when you suffer a letdown in waking life. Sometimes you'll get the falling dream when you're going into a depression. So what you want to do when you get the falling dream and when you hit, and as with any dream, what you want to do is keep in tandem a dream journal with a day journal. So when you get the dream, you can look at what happened the day before and see what triggers the falling dream.
Can you identify anxieties that you think might be correlated with hitting the ground?
Nothing in particular, just normal life, work, illness, raising children, like everybody else.
Are you too hard on yourself?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
And again, you're like so many folks, especially those of us who have falling dreams. And just for me, it's really an issue of curiosity about what is it that makes me hit the ground one day and not another. And you ought to be asking yourself that question. In fact, that's really the reason for everybody to interpret their dreams. It's just a curious look at what you've done the day before. All right, thanks for sharing it. Okay. The next dream everyone has is about being chased.
You're sweating, yet chilled to the bone, and you're running as fast as you can. Someone is chasing you. You plead with your feet to go faster, but it's too late. As you're grabbed from behind, you wake up in a cold sweat. Are you nuts for thinking someone is going to get you?
So Camille says she's had chasing dreams for years. So Camille, exactly who is chasing you?
Well, Dr. Oz, my husband is the one who I see when I turn around. I've been having these chasing dreams where I'm being chased. The scenery stays the same. It's either at home or at work. I'm going up the stairs, down the stairs. I'm going in circles, but I can't get out of the scene. The scene stays the same. My heart races. I always wake up at the point before I'm caught, but my heart just races. It feels so real. And when I turn around, I see my husband's face. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's because he's the first face I see, before I go to sleep. So that's like in my mind. So what does this mean?
So is a chasing dream normal or not? Audience thoughts? 77% of you, we polled you, think it is normal. So either the vast majority of you have these or you like the idea of being chased. Let's look at the meter. Are they right? Is it normal or not? Being chased is normal. So Lori, why is the chasing dream normal?
Well, the key element of what causes a chasing dream is avoidance. So whenever you're avoiding something in waking life, you're going to get the being chased dream. So of course you want to look at your health first. Ask yourself, is there anything going on with your body? Any aches or pains you need to have looked at, but you're not? Is there a doctor's appointment you need to have, but you're not making it? So as always, keep track of the dream and look at what happened the day before and see if you can connect the dots to what you were avoiding or running away from.
At the end of the day, we're not alone, right? We all have these dreams. We all have these reflections. Try to make sense of them as part of the purpose of finding your health in life. So I hope this is helpful.
Thank you.
Whether your dreams are crazy or not doesn't mean that you are. Thanks very much. Psychologist Jen Hartstein is here to help out. Amy's going up first. So what is your quirky behavior?
Dr. Oz, I have to smell my food before I eat it. I have no idea why, but every bite I have to smell my food.
Is that for your whole life? How long has that been going on for?
Probably for a few years, but you know what? I never noticed it until I was out with my husband one night, and he was like, "What are you doing?" We were just at a normal restaurant that we always go to, and he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Stop it. It's fine. Just eat it already."
All right. Well, that husband of yours got us a little bit of evidence.
Yeah.
You want to see this?
Okay,
Here's some
sure.
footage of you at dinner. There you are. There you have a little bite there, enjoying it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this was happening.
No.
Yeah, give it another little bite here. Apparently, set up the phone on the counter. Oh, they're smelling. There's the taste. So, audience, what do you guys think as you watch her? Do you think this is normal or is this nuts? Well, we again polled you. 61% of our audience thought it was nuts.
Yeah.
So let's see whether or not it truly is nuts or not. Smelling before you eat your food is, it turns out, it goes normal. Completely normal. Most of you didn't think that was the case. Dr. Hartstein, why is this very quirky behavior actually very normal?
It's actually really healthy for you. The fact is it slows you down, it makes you more mindful of what you're eating, and it really forces you to pay attention to what you're doing, which could be helpful for your physical health and your mental health in the long run.
Come up here. Let me do a little experiment with you. And Jen, you can help. You get to put the
Okay.
blindfold on.
Oh, here we
All right. What I'm going to show you is how important smelling your food is to tasting your food. So let me put this in your nose. There. 1 second. There we are. Is that blocking off your nose?
Oh, yeah,
Let me hear you speak.
How you, Dr. Oz?
Yeah, that's what I like. I'm nice nasal. So I've shut up your sense of smell. I know you're not getting any air in there.
No.
Now what I've done is prepare a little experiment. All right. So I took two foods which actually taste very different from each other, and I churned them up. So if you saw them, you'd see they were different. But I'm going to see if you can taste a difference between them. So here's the first taste. You can't smell it. You just have to taste it. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Okay. There's the first one. Okay. And here's the second one. Okay, I want you to just compare those tastes. Let's see. So very similar consistency, so you can't use your mouth to touch the food, so to speak. So what do you think you were tasting? Give me an idea.
Oh gosh, the first one's kind of slimy. Applesauce. I don't know.
Okay, and what's the second
one?
one?
I can't smell it. The second one's more consistent, like rubbery, like almost like tuna fish, but I can't smell it, so
I can't tell.
honestly
All right.
tell you.
Let's take this off. And you see that you actually were having a banana that was pureed and a pureed potato. In fact, it was a pureed French fries. It wasn't just a potato. So now that you see this, and if you're actually able to smell it at the same time, there'd be no question. And
Right.
Dr. Hartstein mentioned this, and I'll point this out to everybody else. If you smell your food the way you so wisely do, you will actually change the amount of food you eat in a day. You'll eat about 100 calories less per day, which translates to about 10 pounds less weight gain. And that's why you're so slim.
Yeah, we're
10 pounds less weight gain in a year is a lot of weight. Amy, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr.
All
Oz.
right, and let's move over here to Sherilyn, who's going to join us talking about another quirky behavior that I hear a lot of you writing me about. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what is your quirky behavior?
Well, Dr. Oz, I must squeeze everything out of anything, every ounce, whether it's a conditioner bottle, shampoo, toothpaste. I don't know, is that normal?
Pimples too, or not pimples?
Well, no. But,
Okay, so things in tubes, you got to get whatever is out, no matter what, before you throw it away.
Correct.
And what happens to you? What bothers you so much about leaving a little bit of stuff in the bottom of a toothpaste?
Well, it's not the money or anything like that, but it's just that I have to have in my mind that it's all gone. Every ounce is out of there. I have to have that satisfaction.
And what happens, Cheryl, if someone were to take a toothpaste that was almost finished and throw it away?
Are you kidding me? If my family goes and throws something in the garbage, I go in the garbage, I take it out, I rip it apart, chop it, squeeze it, whatever I need to do to make sure that every ounce is out of there.
I'm a little worried about the audience response. May I ask them anyway?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to hold you like this. Remember, we're just doing this to be helpful now. Audience, what do you think? Normal or nuts? Yeah, that was. We actually surveyed them even before they heard your story. 79%. 4 out of 5 people think that it is nuts. The actual official result. Let's see it here. Is this normal or nuts? Normal or nuts? Ooh, it's nuts. Now, but if I can, obsessing about emptying out a tube can be nuts because it causes you unnecessary anxiety. So, Shirley, I'm making a little demonstration for you.
Okay.
I'm going to try to show you why that urge to empty out the tube of toothpaste is actually stimulating your brain the way it does. Okay? So, every morning when you get up, when you start to squeeze out the toothpaste, you get that little kick. So, let's just do this together. Here you are. Let's pretend you just got up in the morning.
All right.
Let me take the top off the toothpaste. All right, take top off the toothpaste and go ahead now.
All right.
Squeeze it up a little bit.
I have to start from the very end.
Of course you have
every
to.
inch out.
Everyone knows that. Does everyone do this?
Yeah. Hold on.
If I can get my kids to do this, by the way, I'd be so proud of myself. My kids squeeze from up here. All right, and then you push it, and as you go, you're really doing it. Let me help you a little bit, because you go this far. What ends up happening, there's toothpaste. No, stop a second.
Okay.
When that starts to happen, hold it there. When that starts to happen, there's receptors in your brain, dopamine and serotonin receptors. And these serotonin and dopamine receptors, they get stimulated. As they get stimulated, you begin to feel that high, that real nice feeling that one has when you've done just what you want to do. And then keep going.
Okay.
You get higher and higher and higher. You get that very last little drop out.
It's exciting.
Every
Wow.
day is so good. Oh, I can't stand it. It's so much fun. And then now you've
Hold on a little bit.
All right. That feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I mean, you've gotten as high as you can go. You're no way you're going any higher with serotonin. And then what happens? The tube's done. And when the tube's done, you're done. And that serotonin and dopamine begins to sink back down again. Because you can't maintain that high. Because you can't always be squeezing stuff out of tubes. Right?
This is true.
So what do? You got to start another tube.
Right.
And then you slowly begin to launch it up again. But it's not quite the same. And that urge to keep squeezing it comes right back. You got to have that other bottle. And you're continuing in that cycle. So the only quick fix is to keep doing it.
Right.
So Dr. Harstein, what can someone do to get out of that bind?
So the first thing you have to do, that we all have to do, because we all have different things that this happens to us in, we have to address the anxiety, right? So what would happen if you left it on the counter and didn't finish squeezing out the bottle, but started the next tube of toothpaste, let's say?
I don't know if I can handle that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's true for most of us. So the thing you have to really try and do is 3 days. You have a little bit left in your toothpaste, you have to leave it on the bathroom counter. So that when you walk in, you see it, but you don't do anything to it. You start the next one. And eventually that anxiety is not going to peak and crash and peak and crash. It's going to stay more stable. And after 3 days, you can throw it away. You've already started the next one. And do that with all the different kinds of bottles you have where you just get used to seeing it not totally empty. The pressure comes off.
Okay.
What do you think? Can that be helpful?
How long does the process take, before you actually get there,
Well, I'm gathering that if you do that for 3 days,
Okay.
you're going to slowly train yourself to make it shorter and shorter times. This is for everybody out there who's worried that what they're doing is causing them unnecessary anxiety. This is a little tip that you can use.
Okay.
Force yourself to expose yourself to it, but slowly, and then dump it off.
Okay.
Fair enough?
I'll try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some, using a public bathroom is a big source of anxiety. And I was surprised to hear what some women do to avoid peeing and pooping in a public toilet.
I absolutely, without a doubt, cannot go to the bathroom in public. It's so gross and it's full of germs. I will drive home 80 miles an hour just to avoid the mall bathroom.
I am totally embarrassed if someone hears me use the restroom. If it's my coworker or my boss on the other side of me, what if they're closely listening? That is just so disgusting.
I will do anything to avoid using a public bathroom. One time I had to go so bad, I used a cup in my car. And now I always have a cup handy.
I go through extreme measures to avoid using the bathroom in public. When forced to do so, I kind of go in the bathroom and I get a little shy and I completely shut down. Is that normal?
So Courtney admits she has not used a public bathroom in years. So what do you hate about going to the bathroom when it's a public bathroom?
Oh my gosh, it's so creepy. It's not even the germs that are involved in the bathroom. It's just the idea of someone in the next door hearing me or just knowing what I'm doing in my public space. I prefer to be home alone, you know, in my own bathroom. So I avoid it at all costs. And when I'm forced to go into a public bathroom, when I go in, I try to use the bathroom, my bladder just completely shuts down and won't function, just stops, and I can't go. I'm just like, ah!
Actually, let me explain why that happens, because that's a big problem for a lot of folks. You get past the emotional issues, and your bladder becomes shy. It's sort of a physical reaction to anxiety. So let me show you what happens inside of you, because if you look at your pelvis, you've got the bladder sitting in the very front, and of course, it's where it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. There's the bladder right there. But if you look on the side, you actually have a tube coming out, and muscles hold it in place, and the bladder's supposed to squeeze to empty out that urine. See it coming out? But if the muscle doesn't squeeze, it doesn't create the pressure to push the urine through, nothing's going to happen. So you end up having, just like if you got nervous, you get stage fright and freeze up. The same way anxiety affects your heart and your blood pressure and everything else, it affects the muscles of your bladder. Psychologist Jen Hartstein is back with us. So Jen, what's the first step to help everyone get past the anxiety that paralyzes us?
Well, the first thing you have to do is actually go into the bathroom. You actually have to expose yourself to the fear. So you have to walk into the bathroom. Step 2, actually go into the stall. Step 3, use the bathroom. But the more you expose yourself to it, the less your anxiety will impact you, the better it'll be.
Oh.
So you're going to expose yourself a little bit. I know that's not going to get you there by itself, because then you also have an issue with germs that you've mentioned, right? Since germs for a few years a big problem going to a public bathroom, I'm going to help you out. There's actually a website. It's called sitorsquat.com. Users of this little app on your smartphone rate public bathrooms based on their cleanliness. Looks like this. So you can find a nice green bathroom that's clean and private versus a red one that's really public and dirty. And then once you're able to identify where you're going to go, then you can use the tips that Dr. Hartstein just shared with you to get over your stage fright. Okay? I'm going to give you one more little tip.
Okay.
Fair enough? Stand up here. Everyone stand in the audience if you don't mind. So this is called the pelvic push. This is the final tip, the third of the ones I'm giving you. Take your right hand, hold it beneath your belly button on top of your bladder. And then everyone do this, squat down a little bit. All right? And then as you're squatting down, squeeze down. Relax your stomach, squeeze. Feel your bladder. Who has to go to the bathroom right now?
Me.
All right. All right. If you do that, that's going to remind your bladder that it's got to go, and it'll let the urine come out. It'll release that muscle that was paralyzed before, and once it gets going, it's off to the races. Which one do you like the most of those 3 tips?
The squat.
The squat.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.